Welcome to this Vital Elixir Explainer. Today we're diving into a topic that is everywhere right now. We're going to explore why some of those super popular fasting trends you see online might actually be working against your body. And more importantly, how we can gently and safely fix that together. I want to share a story with you about a woman named Elena. She's 52, and honestly, like so many of us, she just wanted to do everything she could to age with strength and independence. She saw all these flashy headlines claiming that skipping breakfast and fasting for 16 hours a day was, the ultimate fountain of youth. So she went for it. She pushed through that morning hunger, drank her black coffee, and literally counted the minutes until noon, fully believing she was doing the absolute best thing for her health. But maybe you've experienced exactly what Elena went through. Seriously, think about it for a second. Have you ever tried pushing through a long, 16-hour fast to boost your cellular health, only to wake up feeling totally exhausted, maybe a little anxious, and just plain frustrated instead of energized? Yeah. After a few months, Elena noticed she wasn't losing any weight at all. In fact, her energy had completely tanked. She thought, well, I must be doing it wrong. I probably just need to fast longer. But here's the thing, she wasn't doing it wrong. Not at all. She was just following a rulebook that literally wasn't written for her body.
It is incredibly common for us in midlife to do everything seemingly right with intermittent fasting, yet still end up experiencing things like softening muscles, freezing cold hands, thinning hair, and completely stalled weight loss. You skip breakfast, you wait for noon, but you just feel worse. This is that classic, deeply frustrating before moment where you feel like your own body is betraying you, despite all your hard work and discipline.
If fasting is making you feel terrible, let me be very clear right off the bat. It is not your fault, and it is absolutely not a lack of willpower. It's simply a biological mismatch. Now, the science behind fasting is very real. Fasting triggers this amazing process called autophagy. Think of autophagy as your body's built-in cellular recycling system. When you give your digestion a break, your cells actually hunt down damaged proteins and clear out old, junky zombie cells. It's a beautiful, deeply restorative pillar of healthy aging. But while the destination is fantastic, the aggressive 16 to 18-hour method everybody uses to get there, well, it can be deeply flawed for the 45-plus body.
And this comparison really hits the nail on the head. Research from Harvard Health and various endocrinology studies shows a really stark contrast. See, a 25-year-old man's biology actually thrives on the stress of a long fast. His body uses that stress to trigger cleanup and burn fat. But a mature body, especially for women navigating the hormonal roller coaster of perimenopause and menopause, or men experiencing natural testosterone decline, we react entirely differently. To our midlife bodies, that exact same 16-hour fast doesn't feel like a neat health hack. It feels like a dangerous blaring emergency.
The real turning point in understanding this is a tiny but mighty brain peptide called kisspeptin. Kisspeptin is incredibly sensitive to stress and to how much energy you have available. When prolonged fasting deprives your body of energy, especially when you pile that on top of the natural, everyday stressors of midlife, this crucial little peptide basically just shuts down. It sounds an alarm and triggers a famine panic. Your brain literally thinks you are starving. So what does it do? It spikes your stress hormone cortisol just to keep you alert and alive. So, how on earth do you know if your body has crossed that delicate line from a healthy cellular cleanup into a full-blown famine panic? Well, your body is brilliant, and it'll tell you. Let's look at 4 hidden signs that connect how you feel with what your hormones are actually doing behind the scenes. Sign 1, that dreaded 3 a.m. wake up with a racing heart. That's your liver running out of fuel and your brain dumping cortisol just to wake you up. Sign 2, feeling constantly cold or noticing thinning hair. This means your body is actually lowering your thyroid hormone to force your metabolism into hibernation to save energy. Sign 3 is softening muscle, which is accelerated by that cortisol spike. And sign 4, stubborn belly fat. That's your body hoarding fuel because, well, it thinks winter is coming. These signs are your body shouting that stress hormones are hijacking your metabolism.
The truly heartbreaking reality for Elena, and maybe for you right now, was realizing that chronically high cortisol literally forces your body to break down your precious metabolism-boosting muscle tissue to use for fuel. And at the exact same time, it stores fat directly in your belly as a pure survival mechanism. Without even meaning to, you're essentially fasting your way into metabolic stubbornness. But hey, here is the really good news. Once Elena understood this, everything changed. She learned how to work with her body, not against it.
Now that we really get the root of the problem, let's talk solutions. We want to find that gentle, sweet spot where you can support your cellular health, maintain your precious independence and mobility, but completely avoid that stress response. And the magic number? 12.
12 to 14 hours is the absolute sweet spot for circadian fast in midlife. It is beautifully, perfectly aligned with your body's natural rhythms and the movement of the sun. It's long enough to get the benefits, but short enough that your brain never hits that famine panic button.
The absolute easiest way to put this into practice? Just stop eating when it gets dark. If you finish your last meal by sunset, let's say around 7 p.m., and just rest your digestion for about 12 hours until 7 a.m., you give your liver the chance to lower insulin and kickstart that early stage autophagy. And the best part? You do it all while you're fast asleep, without ever triggering a cortisol alarm. This is exactly how Elena got her spark back. She stopped fighting the clock and just started following the sun.
Okay, moving right along, let's see how this builds into the second vital fix, which is all about how you break that fast. When you wake up, your very first meal really needs to contain 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein. We like to call this your protein anchor.
Think about it. If you break a fast with just a piece of toast or a quick fruit smoothie, you spike your blood sugar and leave your muscles totally starving. Instead, nourishing your primed muscles with this protein anchor like 3 eggs, a cup of plain Greek yogurt, or a really high-quality protein shake first thing in the morning is incredibly powerful. It sends a loud, clear signal to your brain saying, hey, the famine is over. It shuts off that cortisol alarm instantly and protects your muscle metabolism for the entire rest of the day.
You know, for many of us, just combining the 12-hour circadian fast and the protein anchor is all we need to feel completely transformed. But if you want to push for slightly deeper cellular recycling, maybe to give some extra support to your brain health or metabolic flexibility, you have to remember that fasting is a stressor. It's just like a heavy workout or a really stressful day at the office. If you stack way too many stressors on the exact same day, your body is going to rebel. So that brings us to fix number 3, stress-gated fasting. You should really only push to a 14 to 16-hour fast on your gentle, low-stress recovery days. Save it for a lazy Sunday morning or a day where you're just taking a nice, gentle walk. If you're doing heavy strength training, or honestly, if you just didn't sleep well the night before, don't fast. Eat a nourishing breakfast instead. Give yourself some grace.
And then there's fix number 4, which comes from a really fascinating area of longevity research. Some studies suggest you can actually trick yourselves into that deep autophagy without total starvation through a monthly fasting mimicking approach. Basically, for about 3 days a month, you eat roughly 800 to 1,000 calories a day, focusing heavily on healthy, nourishing fats like olives and avocados, alongside fibrous veggies. By keeping your protein and carbs very low for just those 3 days, your body stays in a fasted state at the cellular level, but you still get to physical comfort and safety of eating an actual meal.
When Elena finally shifted her routine, when she stopped forcing that brutal 16-hour fast, anchored her mornings with 30 grams of protein, and only occasionally stretched her fasting window on relaxing days, her transformation was honestly incredible. Her sleep returned, her hands were finally warm again, her muscles felt firmer, and that stubborn belly weight naturally began to shift. She moved completely away from deprivation and leaned fully into daily nourishment. I really want you to remember this phrase, eat to nourish, fast to rest. Your body is not a machine that you can just force into submission. It's this brilliant, highly adaptive ecosystem that desperately needs to feel safe in order to heal, to build strength, and to let go of stored fat. A joyful, natural 12-hour fast will literally always yield better long-term results for your independence and mobility than an anxious, forced 16-hour fast ever could.
Of course, as a quick reminder, please always check in with your healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your meal timing or trying something like a fasting mimicking diet. This is absolutely crucial, especially if you manage any chronic conditions, take blood sugar lowering medications, or have a history of eating disorders. We want you safe, fully supported, and thriving above all else.
Ultimately, aging with strength, mobility, and real confidence isn't about perfectly following some random internet trend. It's about listening to your beautifully designed body and giving it exactly what it needs to thrive. So, I have to ask you, which of these 4 hormone-friendly fixes are you going to try tomorrow? Will it be that gentle 12-hour circadian fast? Or maybe starting your day with the protein anchor? I'd absolutely love for you to leave a comment below with your next step. Remember, you have so much power over how you age, and I am so honored to be on this journey with you. Until next time, stay strong, stay nourished, and take really good care of yourself.
Welcome back to Vital Elixir, your trusted resource for aging with strength, mobility, and vitality. Today's explainer starts with a story that, well, it might sound deeply familiar to you. Let's take a composite of so many viewers I hear from every week. We're going to call him Arthur. So Arthur is 62, and lately he's been waking up with this new, really frustrating ache in his right knee. His energy just wasn't quite what it used to be. He wants to stay independent, he wants to keep up with his grandkids, and he wants to keep doing the things he loves. So he does what we all do, right? He starts scrolling online for natural ways to feel better. But what did he actually find? A total barrage of influencers showing off incredibly expensive longevity biohacks. And it left him wondering, is any of this actually real science, or is it just overpriced hype preying on our very natural desire to age without pain?
It is just incredibly frustrating, isn't it? I mean, Arthur sees a fitness influencer sitting in the pitch dark, bathed in the red glow of a $1,000 light panel, claiming it's literally reversing their biological age. Or, maybe he sees a wellness celebrity showing off a $200 grounding bed sheet that they plug right into their bedroom wall outlet, promising the absolute best sleep of their life. And Arthur just sits there thinking, okay, is this the missing piece to my health puzzle, or am I about to drop $1,200 on a giant glowing nightlight? Look, the truth is, the biohacking industry is a massive multi-billion-dollar machine, and they are excellent at taking really fascinating biological mechanisms and stretching them into magical, super expensive cures. But if you look beneath all that hype, there actually is some real peer-reviewed science. So to start separating the science from the scams for folks like Arthur, let's just define our terms. What exactly is biohacking? It sounds a bit like science fiction, doesn't it? But really, it is simply the practice of changing your environment or your biology to take control of your health. That's it. That's the journey we are on together. We always have to remember that some of the absolute most profound biohacks out there are completely free. Things like walking, getting good sleep, and taking deep breaths. Others involve this expensive, flashy technology. Today, we're going to put the two most popular biohacking trends under the microscope so you can make informed, safe choices for your health and for your wallet. Now, the clinical term for this trend is photobiomodulation. And it's actually so much more than just shining a colored bulb on your skin. It's a very targeted biological process. When specific wavelengths of light, typically in the red spectrum between 630 and 660 nanometers, and the invisible near-infrared spectrum between 810 and 850 nanometers, when they penetrate your skin, they are absorbed by a specific enzyme in your mitochondria called cytochrome C oxidase. You might remember we talked a lot about the power of our mitochondria in our previous explainers. Well, when this enzyme absorbs that red light, it kicks out nitric oxide, which allows oxygen to bind much more efficiently. The incredible result here? Your mitochondria actually produce more ATP, which is pure cellular energy, and they release less oxidative stress. Your cells are quite literally being energized to heal and repair themselves. It's fascinating. So where exactly do we draw the line between honest expectations and pure marketing fantasy? Well, according to dermatological studies, photobiomodulation may actually help stimulate fibroblasts to produce more collagen and elastin, which can potentially improve your skin texture. And for our mobility, near-infrared light penetrates much deeper into our muscles and our joints. Some clinical trials even suggest it may help soothe osteoarthritis knee pain and support muscle recovery. But all that systemic cure-all hype you see online, honestly, that's a scam. Influencers will claim that just sitting in front of a panel is going to detox your liver or miraculously melt belly fat. There is absolutely zero peer-reviewed evidence for that. It is a localized treatment, and it's beautiful for specific tissues, but it is definitely not a magical full-body cure. Which brings us to the first massive pitfall you really need to avoid to protect your wallet. You are going to see these $40 cheap plastic Amazon masks popping up in ads everywhere. To actually get the clinical results we just talked about, the light has to have a high irradiance, which simply means high power output. Most of these cheap $40 red light masks sold online are nothing more than weak LED bulbs. They simply do not have the power to push that light through your skin and actually reach your mitochondria. If you buy these, you're basically just buying a very expensive red flashlight for your grandkids to play with, not a clinical tool. Okay, let's explore our second trend. I know, when our friend Arthur first heard about this, it sounded even more like science fiction than the glowing red panels. But what exactly is earthing? Well, the Earth's surface actually carries a subtle negative electrical charge. This is largely due to lightning strikes and solar radiation that are constantly hitting the planet. Grounding simply means making direct physical contact with the Earth's surface, like taking your shoes off and walking barefoot on the grass, the sand, or unsealed soil. When you do this, your body naturally absorbs these free electrons from the Earth. Let's look at the mechanism behind why simply touching the earth might actually be one of the most interesting natural therapies available to us. See, the human body is highly conductive. When you step outside barefoot, you absorb those free electrons, and they basically act like natural antioxidants right inside your body. They help neutralize positively charged free radicals. And remember, those are the molecules most heavily associated with inflammation and the aging process. Furthermore, there's some really fascinating research suggesting that this practice may help reduce blood viscosity. It increases the negative charge on your red blood cells, which prevents them from clumping together, and that may support much better overall circulation. But just like with the red light therapy, we have to separate the genuine benefits from the dangerous hype. What does grounding actually do? Well, studies suggest it may help normalize your daily cortisol rhythm, which can potentially support much deeper, more restful sleep. It's also associated with reduced subjective pain and localized inflammation in certain chronic conditions, like osteoarthritis. However, the whole cure for chronic disease hype you see online, that is a complete scam. Grounding is a wonderful, soothing practice, but it is a supportive lifestyle habit. It is absolutely not a standalone medical intervention, and it's certainly not a cure for cancer, diabetes, or autoimmune diseases. And this just highlights the absolute absurdity of the wellness tax that these companies try to charge us. Listen, you do not need to buy a $200 silver-threaded bedsheet and plug it into the ground port of your wall outlet to get these benefits. The earth is free. The dirt outside your front door is completely free. You can get the exact same influx of free electrons just by stepping out into your garden for a few minutes. So, we've gone from total confusion to some real clarity on the science. Now, if you want to use these tools safely to support your independence and vitality, you need a solid framework. Rule number 1 is for red light therapy. Ignore all the flashy marketing and look strictly at the clinical specs. If you do decide to invest your hard-earned money, you need wavelengths of exactly 660 nanometers for your skin and 850 nanometers for your deep tissue and joints. You also absolutely need high irradiance. Clinical devices deliver at least 50 to 100 milliwatts per square centimeter at a distance of about 6 inches. If a company won't publish their exact irradiance data, just walk away. And crucially, for your safety, always wear the blackout goggles provided with clinical panels. Near-infrared light is totally invisible to the human eye, and it can seriously damage your retinas if you stare directly into those high-powered LEDs. Rule number 2 is for grounding, and it's exactly what our friend Arthur ended up doing. Always use the free version first. Before spending a single dime on a grounding mat, Arthur just started taking his morning coffee out under the natural grass, barefoot for about 15 to 20 minutes a day. It is such a wonderful ritual to pair with your morning routine, or maybe that 5-minute breathing practice we discussed in our earlier explainers. Now, if you live in a high-rise apartment or a freezing cold climate and you genuinely want to buy an indoor grounding mat for your bed, ensure it has a built-in safety resistor to protect you from any potential electrical surges. Now, before we hit our final rule, let me just pause here for a second because this is super important. This explainer is strictly for educational purposes and is never a substitute for professional medical advice. If you have a pacemaker, an implantable cardioverter defibrillator, or a history of seizures, you absolutely must consult your cardiologist or your primary healthcare provider before using grounding mats or any electrical biohacking devices. We always put your safety and honest evidence first here at Vital Elixir, and making sure these natural therapies don't interfere with your specific medical needs is absolutely our highest priority. Rule number 3, and honestly, this is the most important rule of all. Don't biohack over a broken foundation. Gadgets are just the cherry on top of a healthy lifestyle. They are not the whole sundae. Look, no $1,000 red light panel is going to fix the skin damage caused by a highly processed, high-sugar diet and years of poor sleep. And no $200 grounding sheet will fix the massive cortisol spike caused by a toxic environment or chronic overbreathing. Fix your sleep, prioritize your protein intake, move your body every day, and manage your stress first. Only then, if you have the budget and the curiosity, should you even look at adding the fancy gadget. So what did Arthur ultimately learn? He learned that true longevity doesn't come in a sleek black box. It comes from his daily habits. The biohacking industry desperately wants you to believe otherwise, but the most powerful biohacks are the ones we've covered over and over again. Walking in nature, eating whole foods, lifting heavy things, sleeping deeply, and connecting with the people you love. Those are entirely free, and they work better than any gadget on the market. I would love to hear from you. Have you ever bought a wellness gadget that turned out to be a complete waste of money? Or on the flip side, have you tried red light or grounding and actually felt a genuine difference? Let's share our honest experiences down in the comments and help empower this whole community. Keep your feet on the ground, keep your foundation strong, and keep living your absolute best life.
I'll see you in the next explainer.
Thank you for your time. Subscribe for more health education. Like the video and share it to help others stay informed.